excitement and emotion that can be found in no other sporting event. The NCAA Tournament. Your wait is finally over, the brackets are ready, and the drama of March Madness is about to begin. Hello, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel, and this is the NCAA Championship Basketball Selection Show, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. Joining me at the anchor desk, as always, my partner, Clark Kellogg. We're all set to show you the seedings and pairings, so get out your bracket sheet, get those pencils ready. Here are the basics. Of the 65 available tournament bids, 31 are automatically given to conference champions. The tournament committee hands out the remaining 34 bids on an at-large basis. An opening round game will take place on Tuesday night to narrow the field to 64 teams. But before we unveil the brackets for this season, here's a look at the final top 25 media poll of the season. There's at least one change in the rankings to tell you about. A new team has made the top 25 this week. The Kansas State Wildcats are back in the poll as the number 20 team. The media rankings are what everyone's been following for the last 4 months. But in just a minute, the selection committee's opinion is going to be the only one that matters. Now let's take a look at the NCAA tournament bubble and see which teams are sitting at home with their fingers crossed, hoping to see their name in the brackets. There are a lot of worthy candidates among these 10 teams, Clark. Which of these bubble teams stands out to you right now?
Boston College could have sealed their invitation with a better regular season finish, but the fact is they play in a very tough conference, and that does weigh heavily in their favor.
And we have a few more teams in similar position, right, Clark?
San Diego State did just enough to get on the bubble, but I'm not sure they did enough to get off the bubble. There may have been a few too many bumps in the road for them.
I'm sure it's been a long week for those teams, but the wait's almost over. The NCAA Selection Committee has finished its meeting, and we're ready to unveil the top 4 seeds in this year's tournament. The Wisconsin Badgers are the top overall seed, and they will play in the Charlotte Regional. The Selection Committee differed with the media on who the #1 team in the country is, but the committee is the important one at this point, and we'll soon see if their faith in this team is warranted. On to the second #1 seed, who will play in the Houston Regional. The Florida Gators are seeking their 3rd NCAA championship in school history. The Oregon Ducks are our 3rd #1 seed, and they'll play in the Detroit Regional. They're back in the tournament again, and no doubt they'll be feeding off the experience of last year's appearance as they try to get to the Final Four this year. And finally, our 4th #1 seed will play in the Phoenix Regional. The Louisville Cardinals are in the tournament field as a #1 seed for the first time in the history of their program. Now, here's how the brackets shape up based on where the #1 seeds have been assigned. In one national semifinal game, the winner of the Charlotte Regional will play the winner of the Houston Regional. In the other semifinal game, the winner of the Detroit Regional will play the winner of the Phoenix Regional. Those games will be played on Saturday, April 5th. Then it'll be on to the national championship game on Monday night, April 7th. Anything shocking to you about those picks?
Well, when you see the selection committee deviate from the top 4 teams in the media poll, it's a little surprising. They've opened themselves up to some criticism with these picks.
So, with the #1 seeds out of the way, it's finally time to tackle the rest of the brackets. First up, we take a look at the Charlotte Regional. The Wisconsin Badgers are the top seed, finishing at 28-6. They won both the regular season and conference tournament titles in the Big Ten. They will take on the winner of the opening round play-in game between Eastern Michigan with 12 wins and Southern Utah from the Mid-Continent Conference. And now, the number 8 seed, the Georgia Bulldogs, come into the tournament 5th in their conference during the regular season and were semifinalists in their conference tournament. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the Cincinnati Bearcats, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 21-11. Providence enters the field as the number 4 seed from the Big East. This will be their 17th appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed. The Rider Broncs finished the season with 19 wins.
The Providence Friars have more to prove than any other team in this tournament. They haven't had a lot of experience in the tournament recently, so it's difficult to say exactly how they'll handle it. They've shown they're capable of playing with the best teams in the nation during the regular season. Now they need to show they belong with those teams come tournament time.
Georgia Tech comes in as the number 5 seed, finishing at 22-10. And they will take on the 12th seed from the Ohio Valley Conference, the Samford Bulldogs, with 20 wins. Next up is the number 2 seed. The UCLA Bruins have established themselves as one of the best teams from the Pac-10. They'll be going up against the number 15 seed, the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks, with 19 wins. This is their 3rd appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. Our number 7 seed is From the Big 12, the Iowa State Cyclones were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the Big Dance. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the San Diego State Aztecs, who were 4th in their conference, finishing at 20-10. Ohio State comes in as the number 3 seed, finishing at 21-8. Alabama State comes in to face them at number 14 with 20 wins in the tournament and regular season championships of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. The West Virginia Mountaineers are in as the number 6 seed. They'll be taking on the number 11 seed, the Maryland Terrapins, with 20 wins. I think this could wind up being the bracket that brings us this year's Cinderella story. A few of the higher seeds here have had terrific seasons, and I'll be surprised if at least one of them doesn't put together a long run in this tournament. Next up, we'll take a look at the Houston Regional. The Florida Gators are the top seed, finishing at 24-7. They were winners of the regular season championship in the SEC. They'll take on the UNC Asheville Bulldogs, the number 16 ranked team. This will be their second appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. Pittsburgh comes in as the number 8 seed, finishing at 19-11. USC comes in to face them at number 9 with 18 wins and a chance to make believers out of any doubters they might have. Marquez comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 20-9. They'll take on the 13th seed from the Horizon League, the Flames of Illinois Chicago, with 19 wins. Villanova enters the field as the number 5 seed from the Big East. This will be their 29th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 12 seed, the Old Dominion Monarchs, finished the season with 21 wins.
The Villanova Wildcats have got to be among the group of teams that has a chance to win the whole thing. I love the way they play on both ends of the floor. I'd be shocked if they don't at least advance from their bracket to the Final Four. But more than that, I think they've got a legitimate shot to win some hardware.
Our number 2 seed is from the Big 12. The Kansas Jayhawks were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the Big Dance. They're going to play the number 15 seed, the Blue Devils of Central Connecticut State, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 19-12. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Nevada Wolfpack are the regular season champions from the WAC. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Miami Hurricanes, with 20 wins. This is their 6th appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. The Texas Longhorns are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the South Alabama Jaguars, with 17 wins. And now the number 6 seed, the St. Joseph's Hawks, come into the tournament first in their conference during the regular season and were losers in their first game at their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Fresno State Bulldogs, who finished second in their conference tournament, finishing at 23-9. There are going to be some incredible matchups in the later rounds of this bracket. If the top seeds can avoid the early upsets, we can look forward to some real heavyweight battles. On to our third bracket of the day. Let's take a look at the Detroit region. The Oregon Ducks are the top seed, finishing at 28-6. They won both the regular season and conference tournament titles in the Pac-10. They'll take on the Sam Houston State Bearcats, the number 16 ranked team. This will be their second appearance in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. Our number 8 seed is from the SEC. The Kentucky Wildcats were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the Big Dance. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the DePaul Blue Demons, who were second in their conference, finishing at 17-11. Tennessee enters the field as the number 4 seed from the SEC. This is their 15th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed, the San Jose State Spartans, finished the season with 17 wins.
The Tennessee Volunteers are going to provide serious matchup problems to any team that doesn't have depth and defensive ability at both guard spots. They have outstanding backcourt play at both ends of the court. It's the main reason they've made it this far, and they're going to have to maintain that form if they want to do some damage in this tournament.
The Utah Utes are in as the number 5 seed. They'll be taking on the number 12 seed, the Pennsylvania Quakers, with 16 wins. Xavier comes in as the number 2 seed, finishing at 26-6. UC Irvine comes in to face them at number 15, with 16 wins in the tournament championship of the Big West. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Minnesota Golden Gopher have established themselves as one of the best teams from the Big Ten. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Boston College Eagle, with 19 wins. They return once more to the very familiar surroundings of the NCAA tournament. And now the number 3 seed, the Duke Blue Devils, come into the tournament first in their conference during the regular season and finish second in their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 14 seed, the Bucknell Bison, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 18 and 13. Illinois comes in as the number 6 seed, finishing at 20 and 11. And they take on the 11th seed from the Missouri Valley Conference, the Northern Iowa Panthers, with 18 wins. It's the first question every selection Sunday. Which is the toughest bracket? Well, this bracket looks to me like it wins that prize this year. Not only are the top seeds strong, the lower seeds can be dangerous as well. And finally, let's have a look at the Phoenix Regional. The Louisville Cardinals are the top seed, finishing at 24 and 8. They finished third in the Big East. They'll take on the Maryland-Baltimore County Retrievers, the number 16 ranked team. This marks their first appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. Next up is the number 8 seed. The Clemson Tigers have established themselves as one of the best teams from the ACC. They'll be going up against the number 9 seed, the Santa Clara Broncos, with 23 wins. This is their 12th appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. Arizona comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 25 and 9. Belmont comes in to face them at number 13 with 21 wins in the tournament championship of the Atlantic Sun Conference. Kansas State comes in as the number 5 seed, finishing at 24 and 11. And they will take on the 12th seed from the Mountain West Conference, the Air Force Falcons, with 21 wins. Vanderbilt enters the field as the number 2 seed from the SEC. This marks their 10th appearance in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. They'll be getting ready to face the number 15 seed, the Western Carolina Catamounts, who finished the season with 15 wins.
The Vanderbilt Commodores are fresh off the championship of one of the toughest conference tournaments in all of college basketball, and you can't underestimate the effect that has on the confidence of these young men. I'm sure they're thinking that anything is possible right now. I think you definitely got to look at them as one of the most dangerous teams in the entire field.
And now the number 7 seed, the Georgetown Hoyas, come into the tournament as the 9th place team in their conference during the regular season and were winners of their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the Penn State Nittany Lions, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 21 and 11. The North Carolina Tar Heels are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Aggies of North Carolina A&T, with 21 wins. Our number 6 seed is from the SEC. The Ole Miss Rebels were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the Big Dance. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Alabama Birmingham Blazers, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 20 and 10. What a tremendous regional final we'd have in this bracket if the number 1 and 2 seeds here make it through the first 3 rounds unscathed. That could be one of the games of the tournament. Clark, give us your take on the tournament's top 16 seeds.
Vanderbilt surprised me with their seed. I thought their performance this season would put them in as a 3 seed. Arizona is a team I wouldn't want to face, even though they're down there as a number 4 seed. I think they've got the potential to be a Cinderella team.
Now, let's bring the conference picture into focus. The Big East gets 9 teams. The SEC with 6. 6 out of the ACC. The Big Ten gets 5 teams.
It was really a terrific year for the teams in the WAC. They topped the non-power conferences with the number of bids they got, and it shows you how far this conference has come. They're becoming dominant at that level.
It's too bad we didn't see more small conference schools in the tournament. None of those conferences got more than 1 team in the tourney, and I don't expect any David and Goliath stories out of the teams that did get in.
I'm surprised there were so few bids for the teams in Conference USA. It was an especially disappointing year for that conference. Usually you can count on a few of the nation's elite teams coming out of there, but this was a season where very few of those teams could maintain any type of positive momentum.
We showed you the bubble teams before. Now that we know who's in and who's out, what do you think of the selections, Clark?
San Diego State is going to sleep a lot better tonight than they did last night, Greg. I wasn't sure they were going to get that invitation, but they snuck in through the back door. Now we'll see if they make the most of it.
While they start prepping for their first-round games, the 5 teams on the other side of the page will be full-time students again.
Baylor probably thinks their resume is as good as a few of the teams that got an invitation, but they didn't have that preseason tournament championship or that one big win that would have set them apart.
All right, Clark, now that we know all the teams and matchups, time to get the tournament underway and let the madness take over.
Greg, let's throw the ball up right now. I can't wait to get started. I hope this is an NCAA tournament that gives a lot of those special moments that stay with us for years to come.
For my partner Clark Kellogg and for all of us here in the 2K Sports Studios, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thanks for joining us on the NCAA Selection Show, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. Enjoy all the excitement of the NCAA tournament.